everybody, I'm Pechuan Garcia and I'm back again with another toy review. So today we're going to be focusing on the LGN Lionel action figure which was released back in 1985. So let's get to it. Okay. So this is Lionel. This figure was released in 1985. Later on, they came up with an animation series the same year, which ran for 4 seasons from 85 to 89. For those who don't know, the series was animated by Rankin Bass. If you grew up in the 80s like me, Rankin Bass was known for a whole bunch of animation series like The Last Dragon, The Flight of Dragons, The Last Unicorn, and then the Hans Christian Andersen TV series, which I enjoyed very much when I was a kid. So Lionel, this particular action figure, has 5 points of articulation. So the hand moves up and down. See? Okay, the moves forward. Okay, and then the head can move left and right. Okay, so Lionel came with 3 accessories. He came with this power ring. Okay, the power ring. He came with this Sword of Omens and his claw shield. So what made this action figure series different was it came with an action feature. Lionel had 2 action features actually. He had a lever here in the back, which when you push down, he'd make a sword slashing action. The next one was, of course, with the power ring, was you put a battery inside, a AA battery inside, or a AAA battery, I think. Is when you put it in the back, his eyes would light. Unfortunately, mine doesn't light anymore. I just have the complete accessories. Lionel came with several variations at the time. So there are actually 3 main variations. There was what you see here, the red hair. They had actually the orange hair right here. Then later on, they also came with slightly other variations, which was the maroon hair, and which is the really rare one, the Thunderwing variant, which didn't feature any action feature. So as you can see at the back, doesn't have a lever, and the eyes don't light. So just practically just a simple action figure. It came with a special action pack with wings. So this is actually the rarer one out of the 4 that I have right here. Back in 2011, Bandai actually picked up the license and actually tried to revamp the line. So they tried to modernize the line, so they came up with two scales for the modern line. So they came up with a 6-inch line, like this one you see here, which is generally aimed for the collectors. Okay, and then they came up with a 3.5, 4-inch line usually for the younger kids. Okay, then also they later came out with almost like an 8-inch line, a classic line. They came up with 2 figures for this, which one was Lionel and the other one was Tigra. But for some reason, they stopped this line and then they actually introduced a smaller line right here. But for this particular line, they only came out with Lionel and Mumra, and eventually they discontinued it. So for this line, actually, they almost had the complete lineup for the 3-inch line, for the modern line. And then for the collector's line, they only had till Tigra and Chitara. Then the line got cancelled. Then eventually Mattel took over and they introduced their own line as well. Unfortunately, they didn't complete the line as well. When they ended the Masters of the Universe line, they also ended the Thundercats line. So they only had Lino, Pumaira, Panthro, Mummy Mamra, Jacqueline, from what I remember. So they didn't complete, and the Thunder Kittens as SACC exclusives. So uh, these figures are still quite easy to find. I found several. You can still find several online. Of course, if you try to buy it sealed, then it'll cost you a lot of money. Locally, you can still find a loose figure without any athletics for about maybe 1,000 pesos to 1,500. Of course, the more complete the figure is, the more pristine the figure is, then it'll cost you about maybe up to around 2,000. I also forgot to mention that for each hair color variation, they also came with a weapon variation as well. So let's say if you had the orange hair, you came with an orange claw shield. Okay, and then of course if you got the red hair, you got the red claw shield. Same with the sort of omens would also come with that variation as well. So that's just something you can keep in mind. So this particular figure, let's say if you were to, this one's still available actually. Still goes around online. Even the rest also you can find locally. This one, since it didn't last too long, so they don't really have a lot of it in circulation. So I've seen this go for a pretty high, for about maybe 4,000. So if you can still find it at around 2,000, then that's a good deal. So the rest of the other figures you can still get, like this one, you can still get for about 1,000 plus. So it's not too expensive. So that's my toy review, guys. I hope you liked my review. Please like and subscribe. Till next time.